Just I'm recording this video.
This call is now being recorded.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I called this class because in order to clear a few doubts, if you have, I hope you have gone through the videos which I have sent you. If you have any doubts, you can tell me. I will go past the different slides. Okay, so you can tell me whether you're getting it or not. Okay, so the first, I'll be sharing the video. Okay, I'll be sh- I'll be sharing the video from now on. I cannot once I share my screen, I cannot add others. So please make sure if it is possible from your end to add those people, you can do that. But I cannot see like now one more came. Okay, so once I share my screen, I won't be able to do. I won't be able to add you people. Okay, so I'll go through the slides one by one. It is just a review for you whether you are getting it or not. If you have any doubts, please make sure you tell me. Okay, then it will be not possible for me to know whether you are getting it or not. Okay, I'll just share my screen. Just tell me if you see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you. I'll just go to the presentation. Okay. So I started with this module one. So we started with the gas as an insulating media. So here we talked about it was a basic concept that we know that the gas to be an insulators, and only at a because of certain conditions it acts as a conductor. Okay, the one of the process is called the collisional ionization. Okay, now what happens in there is that electrons get multiplied in an exponential manner. Let's say two electrons starts and they hit the others to release other electrons, and in the process, like one electron, you have two electron, these give more electron, like four electrons, these give more, so the entire amount of electrons increases in an exponential manner. Okay, now if this happens due to different reason, one of the reason is the applied voltage. Now if the applied voltage is large enough, we call it as a breakdown, and the current get transferred from one electrode to the other electrode. Okay, so we talked about this, and we talked about one of the good dielectric gas is called sulfur hexafluoride, SF6. Okay, so in the next slide, we talked about different types of for the gaseous dielectric. We talked of different types of phenomena that is happening from a low voltage side and for the high voltage side. So from a low voltage end and from the high voltage end, different properties or different function of the different way of current flow takes place. Okay, and after a very high voltage, you might see a strongly conducting spark. Okay, this is something that is visible to you, not the others one. Okay, now we talked about the collision process. There are two types of collision: elastic and inelastic. Elastic is not a practical one, but what we take care is the inelastic process. Okay, the inelastic process is where we can have the collisional ionization. Okay, now the ionization process are of three types, which I have told you. One is the ionization by collision, photoionization and secondary ionization. What is the ionization by collision? When two particles hit and it creates ion. So it is actually the collision of particles or molecules with the electron. Okay. What is the photoionization? Photoionization is that in order to dislodge the electron, we are creating, you are injecting photons, that means light. Any kind of ultraviolet or any kind of light that enhances the release of electrons. So this will be the photoionization. Now these two processes takes place together, or in the, this is the primary ionization process. Okay. Now after this is done, we have a secondary ionization, which is taken care by like once this is done, you have ample amount of electrons, free electrons, and again these creates a secondary process that is given by the secondary ionization. So we have talked about ionization by collisions. Okay. Then this is the ionization by collision. So it needs in when the collision occurs, the energy should be more than this V1. Okay, that is the ionization potential of the atom to make it an ion. So an electron hits the atom. This electron hits the atom. If the energy released is more than V1, that is the ionization potential, then you have that previous electron, but now this atom breaks into two parts at one ion and one electron. Okay, again these two electrons will hit some other atoms to make it an ion. That is how the collision process takes place. Okay, now this process can be enhanced if you use more like for example ultraviolet light. That will be the photoionization. Okay, so there are photoionization which we talked about. So we talked about different processes by which the atoms or molecule absorb. So absorb the energy. One is the excitation of the atom to a higher energy state and continuous absorption by direct excitation. These are the two processes. Okay, this is the equation. This h nu is the energy of the photon, h is the Planck's constant, and mu is the frequency. Okay, so this energy when it is added to the atom, it becomes a charged atom, that is an ion. So we have talked about the photoionization here. So till now, I think do we have any problem here? Anyone? Prem? Prem, you're there?
Yes, sir. No problem.
Okay, okay. Please do tell me, because it is see I since we are learning this online, so I'm not able to get whether you're understanding or not. So a bit of feedback, even if you say, sir, we are not getting it, sir, please repeat it, or sir, uh, we it would be better if you do it like this. So those feedbacks will be very much helpful for me to teach you. Okay, so if you have any issues, please tell me. Now we go to the next part. So we did the secondary ionization process. We have talked about that. There are three parts in that: electron emission due to positive ion impact, electron emission due to photon, and electron emission due to metastable and neutral atoms. These metastable and neutral atoms are heavy atoms that also take part in the creation of ions. So this is just you have to. It is not that you needed to go through this topic in detail, but you have to at least mention these three important points. Okay. So I have discussed these three points in details. Hopefully, because there is nothing to understand, it's just to remember. If you have any doubt, you can tell me right now. Okay, the next part is now this one is Townsend's current growth equation. Now this equation, you might have a issue because it's a mathematical derivation. It tells you how the electrons are developed. From you have two electrodes. Okay, the electrodes are charged. Now how does the current flow from one electrode to the other, and how this current growth takes place, that is given by the Townsend's current growth equation. Okay. Just one sec. Okay. Now the Townsend current growth equation is that we start from this point. Okay. We start from this end and we end here. So till this distance we are talking about, this is x equal to 0. Okay. And this is x equal to d. Now x equal to 0, the nx is n0. Let's say you have n0 number of, what is n0? N0 electrons are emitted from the cathode. So this cathode, we say that n0 amount of electron is emitted. Okay. Now we have this term called the alpha. Now alpha is defined, where is the alpha? Alpha with the average number of ionizing collision made by electron per centimeter of travel. So one electron, let's say you have an electron, it travels for a centimeter. Okay. It creates, let's say, this electron, by traveling a centimeter, it creates 2 ions. One more electron, when it crosses a centimeter, creates, let's say, 5 ions. One more electron crossing a centimeter creates 1 ion. So at least for these three, I can say the average amount of ion created would be what? The average amount of ion average amount of ion created for an electron passing through 1 centimeter would be 5 plus 2, 2 plus 5 plus 1, 8 divided by 3. So 8 by 3 would be the number of ions that is found by this electron, found by any electron. So on average, this 8 by 3 would be my alpha. Are you getting it, all of you? Shodhan, are you able to understand? So this is, so I'm just talking about 3 electrons. There may be like millions and millions of electrons are there. So an average value is alpha. Whatever that alpha is, it tells you that this is the number of electrons that is being produced by any electron that is moving for 1 centimeter. Okay. So in the same case, so after a distance dx, it will create alpha into nx. Okay. So from that, you can say this, if you solve this equation, do you need to solve? I think you can solve this equation by yourself. This equation you can solve by yourself, hopefully. Prem, can you solve this equation? Prem, can you solve this equation? Prem, you're there? Shabaz, you're there?
हाँ सर।
Okay. Uh, I was. Please do at least take care to at least listen to me. I won't be taking much of your time. 10:30. I'll just stop. This is a review class. If you have any doubts, I just wanted to clear the doubts for you. Okay, just to help you out. So, Sabas, can you solve this equation? Like, are you sure you can solve it? This equation.
No sir.
Okay. What you do is that this is a simple differential equation from which you get this as the answer. See, we have dnx by dx equal to alpha nx. So if you cross multiply, you put dx here and the alpha nx here. So you have dnx divided by nx equal to alpha dx. Right, Shabaz? This is okay?
हाँ हाँ सर।
हाँ, अभी इंटीग्रेट करो दोनों साइड. What you get? You have ln nx equal to alpha x. Yes?
हाँ सर।
हाँ. So when x equal to 0, nx was n0. Okay. So if you convert this, you will have nx is n0 e to the power of alpha x. This one. I think you can solve it because you have done this kind of solution previously. Huh? What do you say? कर पाओगे ये?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Okay. So from this equation, this tells you this is the number of electrons that will be produced at a distance x. If you start with n0 at a distance x, it will be nx. Nx can be given by this expression. Now, what is the amount of electrons you'll get here? You put the value of nx as d. So nd is the number of electrons you will be getting here at this edge, at this anode. At this point, you will get nd, that is n0 exponential alpha d. The number of new electrons created on an average by each electron is given by this. What is this? What is the number of electrons? This is nd minus n0 by n0. So you can have, let's say I start with 10 electrons. Okay, now the 10 electrons at the end becomes 20 electrons. So what is the increase? It's 100% increase. So let's say it becomes 15 electrons. Okay, so what you have is 5 by 10 or 50% increase from this point to this point. So since the flow of electron is similarly as the flow is actually current, so you can say the initial current is I0 and the final current what you get here is similar to this. This is the Townsend current growth equation. So we talked about current growth in the presence of secondary process. So what we said was only for the primary process of the collision. Now the electron that are being produced also creates another electrons. Here in the previous cases, we are talking about one electron creating that these two create one more. Now these two will create one more. Are you getting it? But the actual thing is the one electron, this will again create. This is the secondary process. This will not say, okay, I've created 2 electrons and my work is done. No, this will again create some. So this will come in the secondary process. So secondary process, we have this Townsend secondary ionization process. You have this coefficient called the gamma. Alpha is the primary coefficient, gamma is the secondary ionization coefficients. And it is a function of P and E by P. What is P? P is the pressure of the gas, and E by P, E is basically the potential or electric field. How do you calculate electric field? Let's say you have these two plates, okay, and these two plates are connected to a battery of a voltage V. The plates are at a distance small d. Okay. The E inside these two plate is equal to given by V by D. Voltage per distance is E. Okay. So E and E by P, both gamma, the gamma is a function of P and E by P value. Okay. So this is the secondary process. The primary process we have seen. Now the secondary process is that in place of N0, now actually N0 double dash is created. It will be N dash. Now why N double dash? N0 double dash is N0 plus N0 dash. N0 dash is a secondary, the ions produced by the electrons produced by the secondary method. Okay. In the Townsend's current equation using the primary method, you have only N0. But when you include the secondary one, the N0 is not only there, N0 plus N0 dash is also there. Okay. So in place of N0, you have to write N0 double dash. N0 double dash is the sum of N0 and N0 dash. Till now, are you able to get it? Prem, if you're there, you can tell me. Prem, you're there? Nandish?
Yes, sir.
Nandish, are you able to understand what I'm telling till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hopefully you are getting it. So just we have replaced this N0 double dash by N0 and N0 dashed. Okay. Now after that we replace it, and we have written this. The N0 dash is obtained from, which I have told you, N0 is obtained from, N0 was the previous electron, just electron at the end of the cathode. N0 dash is created by the secondary ionization, so it is controlled by gamma. So this is the equation. Now if you ask me, sir, how these equations are coming, these equations are all these equations you come across will be obtained from experimentation. So there is no basically a strong mathematical basis of how these are done. Okay, so you have to keep these equations in mind. So N0, now the N0 dash has a element the gamma. Okay, so the next new N is given by, you have this alpha by the primary ionization and gamma by the secondary ionization. So please remember this equation. This equation tells you the number of electrons that is created both by secondary as well as primary ionization. Okay, so we have a criteria for breakdown, the Townsend's criteria for breakdown, where what happens if the breakdown, the number of electrons, when the breakdown occurs, the number of electrons should be very high at the end. Okay, if we are giving a small voltage, see what you visualize as a spark, that is actually a breakdown. Breakdown is that infinite amount of electrons are passing through. But even if you are not viewing a spark, still some electron is going from one end to the other. You are not able to view it, but still the electrons are going of a very small amount. But when the breakdown occurs, what happens? The n becomes infinity. And what will make the n infinity? What will change in the equation to make the n infinity? Nandish, can you tell me?
What, sir?
What will change in this equation to make the n infinity?
E of alpha d equals to 1.
This
We need to-
the denominator should be 0, right?
Denominator
Yes.
will be 0, sir.
Yes. So that is what you are getting. If you equate the denominator equal to 0, this is the equation. So this is the criteria for breakdown, Townsend breakdown. Okay. Now we have talked about Townsend breakdown. Then the experimental processes of alpha and gamma. I have given you the this is the description. You have to just describe it, how these are done, and the gamma and alpha is taken from these slopes. The slope of I by I0, log of I by I0, the starting slopes are taken for the alphas, and these slopes are taken for the gammas. Okay, so this is how the experiment is done. You need not find the value of alpha and gamma. These are experimental processes, but you need to know how it is done. Okay, so we have a breakdown. Next, we have a breakdown of electronegative gases. So electronegative gases, which the electronegative gases are gases which allow electrons to join to them. Okay, or they are more inclined towards attaching with electrons. So the attachment can be a direct attachment or a dissociative attachment. These two processes takes place. What it does is that if you have an electronegative gas, it increases the electron production and hence the current production, and the expression changes to this value. Okay, the expression changes to this equation, where you have one more element called the eta. Eta helps eta is the factor that if you have eta tells you how fast the electron again goes to an ionization process. Again, when you have a breakdown, you make the denominator equal to 0 and you'll get this, you have a breakdown. Okay, the next part is the time lag. We have talked about time lag. What is the time lag? Time lag is that when you apply the voltage and actually the breakdown occurs, there is a small gap, small time gap. This time gap is called the time lag. Okay, so there are, we have talked about this. There are different two times in the time lag. I just forgot the names. I'll tell you the time. Just one sec. Just hold a second. Okay, huh. One is the statistical time and one is the formative time. So we have talked about these two times, two different times, and the total time is the time lag taken from the voltage to appear and the you have this breakdown to occur. So this gap, entire gap, is called the time lag, and we have discussed how the time lag is being determined. Okay. Now this is a newer concept called the streamer theory. I'll be providing videos on this. So basically, the streamer theory is it is different from the Townsend's theory. Okay, Townsend says that only one electron will create the other electron, that electron will create the other electron, but it does not do not happen in reality. Reality, what you see is that you have these kind of sparks coming in kind of stream. Okay, that is the difference. So in the streamer theory, the equations are changed, and the something called the avalanche. Avalanche means one thing that is a total breakdown. The breakdown comes in a circular. The head would be a circle, and it will go like this and hit. So that the creation of this avalanche is dependent on certain equations. Okay, so this is basically the streamer theory. I'll be providing you a video, the video on that. So I'm not getting into details because you are not ready for the streamer theory. And then we'll talk about the Paschen's law. Okay, now Paschen's law is ultimately it tells you what is the relation between the breakdown voltage and the pressure. We'll see that pressure and distance P into D, this expression determines what will be the breakdown voltage. Now you could see in the Paschen's law, it shows that if for the low, when the P into D is low, again the voltage is high, and then the breakdown voltage is high, and as the pressure decreases, pressure increases, that voltage decreases, but again with a much more pressure, the voltage slowly increase. So this phenomena is being described by Paschen's law. Okay, so this is the end of this class. If you have any problem, you can tell me. Okay. You can tell me if you have any problem. Okay, so this is the end of the class. I hope okay, some of you have said the screen is not visible. If that is the thing, please, because I'm sharing the screen, Taik Muhammad, as you said, the screen was not visible. I'm not able to see your messages because once I'm sharing the screen, I'm not able to see what you are telling. So it's better that from the next class you unmute yourself and tell me. Okay. So this is the end of the class. You just write your names and your USN number. Write your name and USN number, and you can leave the session. Okay. Write your name and USN number and leave the class.